got something here I want to open up in front of you and show you. So my name is Joe. I love motorcycles, travel, and talking about life. If you like any one of those three things, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. And definitely check out the Route 66 series if you like travel. So let's open this box. I kind of want to show you what's in here. So D-Cycle, who's also a really good content creator on YouTube, he's a graphic designer and his skills are pretty phenomenal. He designed a commemorative t-shirt for the Route 66 series, and this is what it looks like. Damn, he did a really good job doing that. If you'd like a Route 66 t-shirt, go ahead and click in the link up here, also in the description. $17 plus shipping and handling. I'm really happy with the way these t-shirts turned out, and myself wearing one, it really reminds me of the trip. I just have a lot of fun thinking about it. And when somebody at work or when I'm out and about and somebody asks me about it, I can say, hey, this is a trip that I took. That was an amazing experience in my life. So go ahead and check that out. So another really great question that was asked is, what things did you bring along that you wish you left behind? And what things did you leave behind that you wish you brought? So one thing I wish I left behind is that 1 gallon fuel container. I just didn't need it. It just wasn't necessary. It may have been necessary if I was in an area where there weren't going to be many gas stations. But I knew even before I started this trip that going from fuel station to fuel station, it wouldn't be any trouble with the Iron 883. I kind of planned that into my routes and into my daily rides. It's better to be prepared than to be on the side of the road, sure. But for this trip, I just did not need that fuel container at all. It just wasn't necessary, and I wish I left it behind because it was added weight, and I didn't get rid of it until 2 weeks after I started the trip. I think that's about it for things that I wish I left behind. I brought 3 days worth of clothing, but I probably could have gotten by with only 2 days worth of clothing. Of course, I was wearing only 2 pairs of jeans, both motorcycling jeans with protection in them. But I probably could have gotten by with less t-shirts. The amount that I brought, the 3 days worth, it was still sufficient enough for going until I needed to wash clothing. But that may be something that I would probably change. Not bring as much clothes just because I was camping a lot or I was at hotels and I could do laundry at the hotels. But that didn't make or break me either way. Somebody suggested, I think it was David Lawson of Northeast Pennsylvania. I think he suggested that buy a bunch of prepaid debit cards. And that might be a good idea because my debit card was compromised along the way. The problem with that is you have to go into the gas stations to pay for gas ahead of time. And I like the luxury of being able to fill my tank with the amount that I need rather than trying to judge the amount I need by going into the stations ahead of time. And it's kind of a nuisance to try and figure out how much is left on a card, especially if you're in a very rural area where your cell phone doesn't work very well, and trying to figure out exactly how much you have left in the card, that can be a challenge. But it's not a bad idea. It's just probably something that I probably wouldn't choose to do. But I've thought about it, and bringing along a good credit card would probably have been smarter for me. What did I leave behind that I wish I brought? So this probably won't apply to everybody, just people who want to document their journeys, which honestly, in the day and age we live in, a lot of us want to. It was really difficult for me to edit along the trip. So what I was doing, I was shooting all the footage, and then that night I would start editing it and try and get it out onto YouTube as quickly as possible for everybody to watch. After a while into the trip, that became really difficult, especially that last week with the weather that I was riding in. So one thing I wish I brought along was a whole bunch of SD cards, memory cards, so I could store all the audio and all the video on those cards, just a ton of them, rather than spending my time editing the videos on the road. I wish I would have had enough videos to cover uploads on YouTube while I was on the road, prior to getting on the road. And then when I got back from the trip, then start editing all those videos. You saw a gap that last week and in the first week after I got back of me not having videos available. I got to about episode 8, I think, and then there was a week where I didn't upload any videos at all. That was because I stopped editing on the road. And then when I got home, I started editing videos again. So that is one big thing that I would have brought along that I didn't. It would have made editing a ton easier. And the quality of some of those earlier videos, while I think they're really good, and I think a lot of people are enjoying those videos, I think they could have been better had I been editing in a different environment, had I been editing at home. Having the time to think about the editing process rather than worrying about editing and staying warm at the same time like I was when I was in New Mexico and the desert nights were so cold. And then worrying about power and all those things is a bit of a challenge if you're camping. There was times where I would choose campsites based on the fact that I wanted to edit, so I would need power and Wi-Fi and all this stuff. My trip would have been very different had I chosen to edit when I got back, because I would have chosen areas where I wouldn't need as much power, or I would choose some more backcountry areas that I really love to explore. I would make sure I'd have enough batteries to power up any video or audio that I would need to record the entire time. I brought a lot of tools with me that I didn't need, but quite honestly, I'm glad I brought all the tools that I brought. And I should really do a separate video of all the tools that I brought. I haven't done that yet, and I'm surprised I haven't. I didn't need all those tools because obviously it's really important for you to make sure your bike's in great working order before you leave. A number of things could happen where I needed a lot of tools that I brought, so I don't regret bringing those tools. Some would say I probably brought more tools than I actually needed, but I felt secure in the tools that I brought, that I may have needed some of those had something gone wrong. But because I work on my own bike, I know exactly how it's running, and I know the service that needed to be done on it was done before I left. My tires were nearly new. I only had a couple thousand miles on them. So yeah, I felt pretty good about the bike, but I'll do a video soon about all the tools I brought, and I'm pretty comfortable with all the tools I brought. So the final question that I got from Amanda over at As the Magpie Flies. If you've not checked out her content on YouTube, you need to stop watching this video. All right, wait until after the video. But after you're done watching this video, go check out As the Magpie Flies. Her content, her travel series, and all her bikes, and all her advice, and just everything that she does on her channel is phenomenal. And I actually look to her channel as inspiration for my channel, so definitely go check out her channel. But her question is, what 3 places would you want to go back to, or were your favorite along the trip? And I really like this question because it gets to the heart of why we travel, and the memories that we have from the experiences that we had on the road. The first one will come as no surprise to most of you, and that is Flagstaff, Arizona. Just spending time in that city. I want to go back. It was the first time that I was back in that city in nearly 20 years. And it was an emotional experience for me because I lived in Flagstaff in my 20s. I was there for 3.5 days, and for the first 2 days, it poured, absolutely poured, so I wasn't able to get on the bike a whole lot. I spent a lot of time in downtown Flagstaff. I walked from my hotel with an umbrella. But I want to go back to Flagstaff when it's not raining and do some hiking out there, get on top of Mount Eldon, 10,000 feet up, look down on Flagstaff, which is 7,000 feet above sea level. Just experience a lot of things that I experienced in my 20s again now in my 40s. That would be a lot of fun to do. That's a bit of a personal reason why I'd want to see that place again. Another location that I'd want to go back to, it's not just one location. It's the stretch of highway, Arizona 260 from Prescott to the New Mexico border. It was so much fun to ride along that road. It's supposedly the most dangerous road in Arizona because it's frequented. Oh, I need another log. Or I need to stoke it a bit. There we go, that's a lot better. All right, where was I? The stretch of Highway 260 in Arizona from Prescott to the New Mexico border. It's considered the most dangerous highway in Arizona because it's frequented by tourists. There's a lot of elk on that road, so hitting an elk is highly likely. I didn't see any. I wanted to, but I didn't see any. It was more dangerous because of all the RVs trying to swerve around me and nearly hitting me, trying to get by me as the passing lane is coming to an end. And the elevation change on that road it's a lot of fun to experience. You know, you start out at 2,000 feet or 2,500 feet, and then all of a sudden, at one point, you're up at 11,600 feet. And as you're changing that elevation, it changes quickly. So your body feels it. It's fun to experience that on a motorcycle. Something you don't get to experience in a car. Sure, you can feel the elevation change in your ears. You can experience the differences of scenery outside your car window, but there's nothing like being on a motorcycle and experiencing the feels, the smells, the sights. It's just an amazing experience, especially on a road like that. So that's another place that I would like to go back to. And the final one is where I had the most fun interacting with people, meeting them, listening to their stories. And that's at Blue Water State Park near Pruitt, New Mexico. About 30 miles or so from the Arizona border in western New Mexico. There I met Mitch. Mitch and I shared stories with each other, and it was a really good time to chat with him. And I met Jeff and a guy named Joey. Just listening to all their stories was a lot of fun. The rangers there were really cool. I spent 4 days there actually, because it was just, the hiking there was amazing. The company, the people that I met there was really cool. And it wasn't far from Route 66. It was just 7 miles off Route 66. So it was a good place to stop and a good place to relax. I got a lot of editing done there, and I really enjoyed myself there. Took a lot of photographs there. In fact, those of you received that little postcard, the picture in the middle of that postcard is me sitting on a bench at Blue Water State Park. Yeah, that was a good time. And I think, like you, Amanda, I have trouble giving a short answer to a lot of these questions, or even adhering to the rules of just choosing 3. I can't. I need to add a few others in here. Some other spots that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed riding my motorcycle around those windmills and just having this exhilaration of having the wind whip me around and just looking up at these humongous windmills in the fog. It was a crazy, surreal experience, but a good time nonetheless. And because I can't just choose just these 3, are the 2 locations that I discovered while on the Get Lost rides on this trip. And that is the Abo Ruins and Laguna del Perro, the Salt Flats. I would not have discovered either of those places had I not gotten lost, found my way out, and discovered those 2 locations on the way. Quite honestly, those 2 spots have produced the 2 very best photographs in the entire series, in my opinion. I love both those. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. If I haven't answered one of your questions, go ahead and hit me up on Facebook, on Instagram, or in the comment sections on YouTube. Or go ahead and email me at joe@greategretmoto.com. I'll be able to answer questions there. Quite a few have already taken emailing me and asking me questions, and I've been able to help you out quite a bit there. So again, the Midwest Moto Meetup is coming this September. Hopefully we'll get the details more solidified soon. If you want the latest updates, click on the link above here or in the link in the description. You'll be able to get the latest updates. After you click on that link, you have an option to sign up for email updates. Thanks so much for all the support along the trip and just on this channel in general, guys. I've enjoyed the community that's been growing and building. Positivity from all of you has just been amazing. And the way we communicate and the way we're building a community here, it's been such a great experience. And I love sharing my motorcycle experience with all of you, and I love you sharing it with me. And I'm thrilled to get back on the bike once spring hits and start riding with a lot of you. Thanks for watching. As always, ride safe out there and keep your wheels rolling in the right direction. I'll see you in the next video.